Some of you have asked, Klaus, show us your loadout before you show us the replay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show it to you. Vents, low noise muffler, and optics. All of the purple kind, not the Bond kind, but the bounty equipment kind. They give a little extra bonus. So it doesn't matter which slot you put them in. The purple stuff doesn't matter which slot you put them in. I'm running Coca-Cola. About a 50-50 split in ammunition of regular ammo and APCR and small first aid, small repair. I'm a two-mock kind of guy, guys. I can two-mock the tanks, and then my progress slows down a little bit. I think I've three-marked one tank. I'll show it to you tomorrow. But I love this tank. I absolutely adore this tank, the T-21, and I accidentally two-marked it, guys. Accidentally, because I logged in to my account one day, and this was in the garage. I don't know why. It was, when you log in, there's a tank that shows. This one was there, and I'd only played a few games in it. I thought, what's this? I haven't played this very much. Let me try and play it. And I played a session of about, 10 or 15 games. And I one-marked it. I got my first mark. And I was having fun playing it. So I said, well, let me play it a little bit more. And I played it a couple more sessions, and we two-marked it. So I'm going to show you a couple of games here that led to two-marking. And, there is a sweet spot in this game. There is a sweet spot. And for me, it's tier 6 and 7 if you're playing a highly mobile tank, and then tier 9 if you're playing a fairly mobile tank. That's the sweet spot, in my opinion, for me. And I think it's different for everyone. But for me, it's tier 6 and 7 mobile tanks and tier 9 mobile tanks. I find tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to be just too much of a shit show. 5 is getting better. There's some good games at tier 5, but you move into a bush like this in tier 5, and in every game you will get YOLO'd by yahoos. People that just drive around. They got their first wheeled vehicle, or I don't know, they got the first tank they got that can go over 60 or something. I don't know. Or they just want to charge forward, or when you're at tier 5, you just want to grind your way through the tank, so you want to get a few XP and then die and move to the next game or something like that. I don't know what it is. It's just too much of a shit show. But tier 6 and 7 starts getting competitive. There's some really good games. There's some really good tanks at tier 6 and 7. And you can do some amazing spotting. You can do some amazing maneuvers. You can have some amazing games at tier 6 and 7. And importantly, you don't have to face, especially in light tanks, you don't have to face the overpowered EBRs yet. Once you get to tier 8, and let me continue here. So tier 6 and 7 are a sweet spot. If you have mobility, the games are great. There's fantastic tanks at tier 6 and 7 in every nation. Every nation has good tanks at tier 6 and 7. There's the Type 64 Chinese. There's this one American. There's the KV2. There's the T-29. There's that Italian one with the big gun. There's all of them. Every nation has good tanks at tier 6 and 7. The Cromwell. And I can't list them off the top of my head because I don't have photographic memory. But really good tanks at tier 6 and 7. And you can play them, and your matchmaker is not infested with tier 9 and 10 overpowered crap. Okay? Then you get to tier 8. Now tier 8 is when you log into a tier 8 game, you're almost always in a tier 10 matchmaking. And in tier 8, 60 or 70% of the tanks in tier 8 are premium tanks. Okay? So tier 8 is for making credits, but the gameplay at tier 8, man, you get it, especially when you get those matchmaking days that you're constantly in a tier 9 or 10 game. And if you happen to like the light tanks, you're playing a light tank, And you are a tier 8 light tank, and the matchmaker says, okay, the enemy team needs a tier 8 light tank, and they get that EBR premium, and you got yourself one of the other ones. And you're a tier 8 light tank with an EBR on your opposing side, but there's also a tier 9 and a tier 10 light tank as well in the same game, and they're EBRs. And you can go fuck yourself. Tier 8 is kind of, to me, it's not a sweet spot. It's a place to make credits. Then tier 9 all of a sudden becomes a sweet spot again, because you grind and grind and grind, and if you get some good tanks at tier 9, you have the chance of fighting tier 8s and 7s. You don't fight 10s all the time, but if you have to, you are capable. And some of the mobile tanks at tier 9 are really good. In a lot of the lines, the tier 9 tank is just as good or better tier for tier than the tier 10. You know, you're grinding, you get to tier 9, you get a really good, wow, I love this tank. And you think, oh, I gotta get to tier 10. And then the tier 10 is a little bit of a letdown, because tier for tier, a lot of the tier 9 medium tanks have the same guns as their tier 10 counterparts. Jumping from the E75 to the E100 is not a big step forward. Now, let's make this guy look foolish because I'm mobile and he's not. The poor guy. You know, I know you're the house box tank. Yeah, no. They're knocked out. So tier 9 is a sweet spot for me. There are a lot, especially in the medium tank. Let me be careful that tier 9 is not a sweet spot for light tanks, because you start getting always matched with EBRs. Tier 9 is a sweet spot for mediums and heavies. It's great. Then tier 10, well, tier 10 is just where you go to lose credits. You could play tier 10. Tier 10 is, you know, whatever, but let's see. Can he? Yes, he can. You can have fun at tier 6, okay? Tier 6 is fun, guys. Don't you think so? Well, that's 2 marks. 2 marks. I think it only took, like, I don't know, 30, 40 games or something. Why not? It's fun. There are other tier 6 tanks that are fun. This is not one of them on your screen. I played this tank. This is on the EU server now.
Let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. It's the Santa. With the annoying British female crew members. All right then, pass me the tea and let's get this show on the road. Ow! We didn't even did them. Am I being annoying? Because that's what it's like when you have a British female crew member. So, tier 10, I think, sucks. I much prefer to play tier 9. Because when you play tier 10, there's so many tanks that are in tier 10. Because when you're playing tier 10s, you always see other tier 10s. 100% of your games, you see other tier 10s. And you're just... Chieftain, Object 279E, Object 907. And if you have those, maybe you like to play tier 10. But for the regular schmo that doesn't have the reward tanks, tier 10 is infested with broken reward tanks. And because the matchmaker sucks, it would be okay if the matchmaker said, oh look, the enemy team has 2 Object 279Es. They're not platooned. We should make sure your team has an AMX 50B and whatever. The matchmaker's stupid, right? The matchmaker, it's so unbalanced, and tier 10 games, you'd think that as you move higher and higher in tier, you're going to have more strategy, more difficult games, more... No, at tier 10, get ready for 3-minute blowout after 3-minute blowout after 4-minute blowout, 5-15, 5-15, 15-5, 15-5, because the tanks are so unbalanced tier for tier And Wargaming knows that they're unbalanced. And that's why in certain events where there's actually a competition going on, or in ranked battles or something where there's actually a competitive mode in the game, they don't allow the overpowered reward tanks. Oh, you're not allowed to play the Chieftain and the Object 279E and the Object 907 in ranked battles because they're broken. We'll just let those tanks destroy random battles where the regular plebs play. So tier 10 to me, if you have all the reward tanks, you're a clan member and you're very good at the game. Sure, no, yeah, nothing wrong with playing tier 10. You're a good player. But if you're a regular schmo, I'd say look long and hard at your garage, and if you're really having fun, for example, in tier 9, you got yourself the Polish tier 9 medium, or you got yourself the Leopard PTA or something like that. You're really having fun. You're not necessarily going to have fun at tier 10 with the regular Leopard and the other Polish one that has the turbo. A Leopard PTA fighting tier 9s and 8s is much more powerful than the regular Leopard fighting Object 907s and Object 279Es. It just is. Okay, and the Leopard is better than the Leopard PTA, but tier for tier with the matchmaking, it ain't a sweet spot for me. So having said all that, you know, what are we doing today? We're enjoying 2 games where I 2-marked some little tier 6 kind of shitty little tanks. You know, like they're shitty little tanks, but man, they're fun to play at this tier. And I'm going for the spotting assist here, guys. Going for the spotting assist. That poor guy. Enemy armor is hit. Maybe I could do the crew voice. Can I re-record the crew voices for the British females wargaming? Can I do it? Here we go, guys. This thing, the setter. What could be better? I'm playing the setter. What could be better? Playing the setter. What could be better? Okay, let's go fight this guy. I think I made a mistake. The setter is tier 7. I'm showing you 2 games, a tier 6 and a tier 7, because those are the sweet spots. That was the whole point. I think I told you the setter was tier 6. No, it's tier 7. It's a shitty tank when you look at all the... It's shitty. It's terrible. It has low DPM. It has no armor. It doesn't have much mobility. But it's at tier 7, and somehow it works. Some of the tanks you might have overlooked at the lower tiers, as you just grind to sprint to tier 10. I know a lot of players they just want to get to the end, right? They just want to get to tier 10, and they sprint through the tier 6s and 7s, and maybe they just played 15, 20 games or they blueprint them, and they never give them a chance. Go check them out, guys. Go check out some of the little tier 6 and 7s. If you like heavy tanks, there's some good heavy tanks. If you like light tanks, there's some sweet light tanks. If you like medium tanks, there's great ones. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. I had fun. I hope you had fun listening to me. And now we're playing the setter. What could be better? Victory in the setter. What could be better?
Done! 2%! Time to celebrate! No more bad moods! 2 marks on the center! 200 bits from Peppermint! Schnapps! Oh yeah! Ace Tanker! 2 marks! Celebrate with me! La 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 la! Dancing emotes! Dancing emotes! La la la! Ha! Thank you, Denton, for yourself. Let's see how we did it here, guys. We got Scout and Patrol Duty, 1,590 damage, 3 kills, and a whopping 4,485 spotting assists. We finally did it. We finally got an EUCC RNG team. And that game only took 5 minutes and 54 seconds. Ooh. It was a long, hard struggle, Absolute. It was a long, hard struggle. You have to tell Loadout. Thank you for suggesting the Mighty Setter. Cha-cha! The Mighty Setter.
Let's get this show on the road.
Cha! 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 Get out of my way! Yes! Yes! 4,300 spotting assist. Are we? Did we get it? Did we get it? Did we get level 10, guys? Did we get it? It's been all night. It's been all night long. The mighty Manticore. Mighty Manticore. Battle results. Klaus Kellerman on top. Yes! Yes! Do we celebrate? Is it time to celebrate? Level 10 reached! Yes!
The 1,000 bombs are in the bank! With a little cha-cha-cha! Huh? It's time for the musica! It's time for the dancing emotes! It's been a long, hard-fought battle! We got the 1,000 bombs, we got the 500 gold, we got the 500,000 credits, huh? Sing it with me! La 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 la! La 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 la! Affirmative! 3rd division complete, guys! Unbelievable! Yes! Look at this! We ended up with top of the team, 2,717 damage, 4,341 assistance. For compliance with vehicle roll, 340 extra. Oh yeah, the mighty Manticore.